Hello everybody, my name is James, hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about two verdicts that have been issued on George Russell, as well as an update on Max Verstappen's car following an incident he had during Melbourne practice. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Formula 1 content. Also make sure to follow me on Instagram and X at James's Pit Lane. I'll leave links in the description, but let's jump straight into the video. So let's start with Max Verstappen, and he had an incident during free practice 2. Basically, as he was going through turn 10, he ran wide and went on to the gravel. Now that's quite a high speed corner, and Verstappen did very well to save the car. But as Verstappen bounced through the gravel trap, it shredded the floor with bits of carbon fibre flying up behind him. And now Red Bull has revealed there's enough damage on Verstappen's car to keep the team busy assessing the impact and the work required. Chief Engineer Paul Monahan said, as quoted by Racing News 365, "I'll say there's enough to keep us busy. It's recoverable. It's nothing that drastic, but it's a bit of a thump, so we'll tidy it up and go again." Now, given Red Bull are making their own engines for the first time from 2026, I thought they performed pretty well in Melbourne practice. I mean, Verstappen's fastest time in free practice 2 wasn't that far off the leading pace. And Red Bull still look to be a top 4 car. I don't think they'll be winning the Melbourne Grand Prix, definitely not, but they're definitely performing better than I thought they would. Now, the teams I feel are going to be up there this weekend are Mercedes and Ferrari. They look to be the two standout teams from practice, and that's not a surprise. I mean, both teams look really strong during pre-season testing. Now, when qualifying trim, Ferrari and Mercedes look to be pretty similar on pace. However, Ferrari's Charles Leclerc said that while it's still been a productive opening day for Ferrari, Mercedes' race run speed had stood out, with Leclerc saying, as quoted by Sky Sports F1, "FP1 looked positive, but then FP2 I think the teams are showing this'll bear this'll a bit more, and unfortunately we seem to be on the back foot, especially compared to Mercedes. That seems to be very, very strong. I don't think that they showed everything in low fuel, but on high fuel it was very impressive. It's the first time probably that we see how much there is to them, and it's a bit more than what I would have liked, but it's the way it is." Then on the other side, it's been quite a positive start to the weekend, and we'll keep working very hard in order to try and maximise everything for tomorrow. Now, even though, as expected, Mercedes do look good in Melbourne, it wasn't all smooth, with George Russell being investigated for 2 incidents that happened during free practice 2. Now, one of them was for failing to follow the notes of race director Rui Marquez and took a practice start outside the allocated area, and this earned George Russell a warning, with the steward's verdict saying the driver admitted that he performed a practice start outside the designated practice start area defined in item 14.1 of the race director's competition notes. However, he explained that due to the sun haze, he was unable to clearly see the grid boxes and believed that the correct location was where the rubber marks were visible on the asphalt. Having viewed the driver's onboard and CCTV footage, we accept that the sighting of the grid box was difficult given the light conditions, but the driver was so far forward from the designated location that it was ahead of the protection of the pit wall, and this incident occurred after the race director had warned all teams of the need to comply with his instruction in this regard. The stewards determined that the driver failed to follow the race director's instructions and imposed a penalty consistent with the penalty for similar breaches in the past. Now, Russell was also looked at for something that happened at the start of free practice 2. Basically, he was involved in a collision in the pit lane with Arvid Lindblad. Basically, Lindblad was already in the fast lane when Russell tried to push in ahead of the Racing Bulls driver, with contact having been made, and while minimal, the clash did damage Russell's front wing, resulting in an immediate change. And following their investigation, the FIA stewards decided to give Russell a reprimand, with their verdict saying car 63 would have only been free to blend into the fast lane if there was a suitable gap in a queue of cars in the fast lane, and if it could be done safely and without unnecessarily impeding cars already in the fast lane. It's clear in this case that there was no such gap, and the collision resulted from car 63 inching forward and thereby blocking a small portion of the fast lane. Both drivers agreed that the driver of car 41 would not have been able to see the portion that was blocking the fast lane. In this case, the collision could have been avoided by car 63 taking appropriate action, and we therefore imposed a penalty of a reprimand to the driver of car 63. But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care. Bye.